business, working in this government. Because right now, Madam Speaker, the situation in Nairobi is not really legal. Because I can assure you, there are so many hospitals that have been built, and that money has not gone through the shareable revenue. I mean, that is illegal. And let me tell you what will happen in this country. After 2022, when the ground has been fully leveled, there's some people who will rot in jail because Article 226, subsection 5 will go after them. And I hope that whoever the leadership will be in after 2022 will uphold the rule of law so that we can bring all this nonsense to an end. There is no point as to why we should be crying that our people are not getting medicine, yet we are here. In fact, any governor, in his right sense of mind, the first priority should be hospitals. Madam Speaker, I'm in the Health Committee, and the kind of thing that we see and we hear, it's something which is, devastating for this country. So, Madam Speaker, I hope that whenever I push for an item to be brought for a full house, I know what I'm talking about. This is one of those things where, I hope I'm still live. Madam Speaker, just one more minute, please. I know you had given us 2 minutes. Just one more minute because I'm a member of the Health Committee. I need to give you some good information.
Senator Lekina, you'll use that opportunity during the committee time. Because you are the ones who are going to make
30 seconds, Madam Speaker. 30 seconds. And I'll count it down. Madam Speaker, let me summarize it this way. I don't know, and I thank Senator Sakaja for bringing this statement. But the truth of the matter is this. NMS should not even be appearing before the Senate because it is the county government of Nairobi who should be appearing before the Senate. What business do we have dealing with a person who is supposed to be submitting his status report on the task that has been, or the function that have been transferred to him, to the executive, coming to answer to the Senate? This is why we need to differentiate who should come before the Senate. The same way we have said we are not entertaining principal secretaries, we want the cabinet secretary, is the same position you should be taking. So in this one, the right person for us to ask this is the executive, if there is an executive in Nairobi County. The problem, Madam Speaker, is that we put ourselves in this hole, and yes, I'd like to be informed.
Kindly, just wind. He will inform, but just in wind up, please.
I will inform him if he goes. I need to inform him to respond to that. Madam Speaker, I'm glad Senator Ledama has brought out a very interesting aspect. Article 187 of the Constitution that talks about transfer of functions states that the constitutional responsibility for a function that is transferred remains with the entity or the level of government that has transferred it. And indeed what that means is even in this inquiry, it is the Nairobi City County government that should appear, and they can come with the NMS as an implementing agent, but not the NMS on their own. So I hope the Health Committee takes note of that you invite the Nairobi County government, an NMS, but the person who takes constitutional responsibility remains the Nairobi City County government as it exists. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if you have a governor who is acting, who is... So they come because they bear the county government is an entity. It exists in perpetuity. But they come together with the implementing. In the same way, if you asked a question on water, you'd ask the Nairobi County government and they can come with Nairobi Water, for instance. Yes. Thank you for that, Madam Speaker.
Senator Winder,
Madam Speaker, to conclude, I'm even forgetting what I wanted to say. But no, I'm not going to say that. But I think what Senator Sakaja said is one of the things that we, all of us in this House, should actually be pushing for. Because what is happening, Madam Speaker, and this is something which will hound us forever. The day we killed that report on NMS here, on MES, because the first question which is being asked here is why do we have equipment which we have paid for and they are lying collecting dust, yet people are getting sick every day? The ICU beds are very few in this country. So, Madam Speaker, this is a matter which I want to request that from your desk, from your seat there, you can be able to give us proper guidance. And I'm happy that I heard when I was coming in that now we're now looking under the implementation committee. because each committee has been self-implementing, but this is a matter that we now need to follow up, because even though we killed the report on NMS,
Senator, we've been very lenient with you. Kindly, just wind up.
All right, finally, Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Finally, Senator Ombo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am hoping and praying that I'll get the same leniency as Senator Ledama. But, Madam Speaker, to just point out, and Sakaja, I wanted you to listen to this because it's important. You know, this is not just about health. Madam Speaker, this must be about all the functions that are being transferred from the county government of Nairobi to the NMS. And I say this, Madam Speaker, because today senators will contribute to this statement on account of how they are aligned, either with NMS or with the county government of Nairobi. But Madam Speaker, when finally the chips are down, somebody will be held accountable on both the process and the outcome. I say this because of the article that Senator Zakaja has made reference to, was it Senator Ledama, 187(2)(b), that if a function or power is transferred from a government at one level to a government at the other level, constitutional responsibility for the performance of the function or exercise of the power shall remain with the government to which it is assigned by the fourth schedule. The fourth schedule assigns health to the county government of the Nairobi City County. And the fourth schedule does not know any institution or any person called NMS. So even as committees entertain contributions and submissions from NMS, they must be guided by that article. Secondly, Madam Speaker, and I will ask for 30 seconds, on the matter of the health status in Kitui County, I brought a statement 2 weeks ago here to the Committee on Health. And I demonstrated how goats and sheep and donkeys are taking refuge in facilities that are supposed to be health centers and dispensaries. The Health Committee committed to visit the county and bring to this House a report on status of health in Kitui County. Madam Speaker, the people of Kitui County are still waiting for that report, for that visit. They don't care who the chairman of the committee is, who the vice chair is, who has been demoted or promoted. They want health, and they want a report from this Senate. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senators. I think that brings us to the end of that statement, and I stand committed to the relevant committee. Senator Majority Leader. Senator Pugisho. Not on this, but yeah, on your next statement, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, thank you. I think, Madam Speaker, some of the things to take note of before I read this one. And I see Senator Murkomen has left, but I think we should be able to control how much someone can bang our furniture and almost breaking them. But secondly, Madam Speaker, I think some of the members who are speaking to this matter are members of the Committee of Health. And they have all opportunity to go and deal with this matter. They're speaking to themselves, and the thing is going to be referred to them. So take note, that's simple, and then they go and deal with it. Madam Speaker, short report, a statement by Senate Majority Leader on the business of the week. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 52.1, I hereby present to the Senate the business of the Senate for the week commencing Tuesday, 28 September 2021. On Tuesday, Madam Speaker, on Tuesday, 28 September 2021, the Senate Business Committee will meet to consider the approve the business for the week. Subject to approval by the committee, the Senate will consider bills at the second reading stage, bills at the Committee of the Whole stage, and motions on reports filed by select committees. On Wednesday 29th and on Thursday 30th September 2021, the Senate will consider business that will not be concluded on Tuesday 28th and Wednesday 29th September 2021, respectively, and any other business scheduled by the Senate Business Committee, including petitions and statements. Madam Speaker, there are 9 bills due for Committee of the Whole stage, 3 of which have been captured in today's order paper at orders number 17, 18, and 19. There are 22 bills due for second reading, of which a number have been captured in today's order paper from order number 9. Additionally, motions filed by the committee chairpersons and individual senators have also been listed in the order paper. These bills, Madam Speaker, and motions have been allocated slots on weekly program of Senate business. However, for one reason or another, the Senate is unable to proceed as scheduled in the weekly program. I therefore urge respective movers to be available in the Senate whenever their business is listed on the order paper to ensure that the business is transacted before the close of the 5th session in December 2021. Standing committees are encouraged to hasten consideration of bills referred to them and to table reports thereon. Committee chairpersons and individual senators proposing amendments are to be available in the chamber to move the same at the Committee of the Whole. I wish to applaud committees for their efforts in processing filed statements and petitions referred to them. However, there is still a high number of petitions, totaling 48, still pending conclusion in the Senate. I urge respective standing committees to expedite consideration of the petitions and any other pending business and table reports pursuant to the standing orders. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, the Senate leadership, in consultation with the proposed reconstitution of select committees, is consulting on the proposed reconstitution of select committees. This is obviously a matter of interest to every senator, and I assure the House that the changes proposed are geared towards enhancing efficiency and effectiveness in the committees. I request for patience as the leadership of the House finalizes on this matter. Madam Speaker, I thank you and hereby lay the statement on the table of the Senate. Thank you.
Senator Kajwang, what's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 191 that talks about composition of select committees, which goes further to say that a select committee shall consist of an odd number of senators, more than 9. And Madam Speaker, the Leader of Majority has requested for patience as the leadership consults on the constitution of committees, but the devolution committee is not functional as a result of that standing order. The devolution committee lost Senator Kabaka, lost Senator Prengei, and Senator Mwaura. And so we are unable to hold meetings. And Madam Speaker, devolution committee could be among the most important committees in this House. Could I request the leadership that if the matters of allocating members to other committees is taking time and requires consultation, let them bring a motion next Tuesday specific to the devolution committee so that we are able to handle the statements, we are able to handle the bills. We are currently handling bills relating to transfer of functions, which was the point of discussion in the statement brought by Senator Sakaja. Madam Speaker, I want to urge the leadership to prioritize the devolution committee so that the other issues of moving people from one committee to the other can take as much time as the House wishes.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Nderitu, John, you have an intervention?
Okay.
I can see you have an intervention.
Yes. Madam Speaker, I agree, because the core mandate of this House is devolution, Madam Speaker. Our work is to protect the interest of our counties. And Madam Speaker, from where I sit, if that committee is not functional, which I was chairing, and is not functional now, it means this House is almost grinding to a halt. But what I would request the majority leader, why don't you then fill devolution committee as you try to consult on the others? Maybe you can put in members in devolution committee so that at least it can continue running. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Sherargei, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I remember the minority leader when you are, I think you were on the seat, Speaker, at that time, Madam Speaker. The minority leader he requested that those motions were being deferred and then it goes to committee, to Kamkunji for, so that we build a consensus. So I think, I remember maybe Senator Moses Wetangula was attending exigencies of duties, and therefore he might not have gotten the memo. But as far as I know, we agreed that the reconstitution of committees, Madam Speaker, should be done with consensus. But if it comes the way it comes, I can assure you it will fall flat the way it was. The minority leader tried to rescue by deferring them. But if they want to bring it now, Madam Speaker, respectfully, we'll shoot the same motion down.
Senator Wambua Enoch.
Madam Speaker, I hear what Senator Kajwang is saying. In fact, Madam Speaker, what I will be proposing myself is that as things stand now, the devolution committee is so critical, so critical. The government is in the process of distributing relief food and the drought mitigation fund across the country. The criteria being used, we don't know. This is about counties. I saw yesterday the Minister for Devolution distributing food to some counties, and my county was not in that list. Madam Speaker, can I ask that maybe Senator Kajwang should actually bring a motion, if that's what needs to be done, for his committee to be properly constituted, irrespective of what the majority leader will do on the other committees, so that the devolution committee can get down to work, ensure that all Kenyans who are deserving of the drought mitigation fund, that fund reaches to those Kenyans, as the majority leader prepares to do whatever else they want to do with the other committees. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Wetangula Moses, Senator for Bungoma.
Madam Speaker, while I share the concerns of Moses Kajwang, the distinguished senator for Homa Bay, about the devolution committee, I would want to discourage this piecemeal approach in doing business of the House. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader and the minority leader are in the House. Their whips are available. Other leadership cadre are available. Madam Speaker, instead of allowing young Senator Cherargei to display rage and shout to Taangusha, we need to work as a House. And the purpose of the whips is to consult members whether they want to move from one committee to another and whether comfortable to be in this or that committee. That's the work of whips, and that's how we did things in the last parliament. So we don't want, this House, Madam Speaker, has cultivated some tremendous public confidence and respect. And for us to degenerate into altercations and quarrels and shouting at each other over committees is beneath our dignity. And I would want to truly encourage the leadership. This is a matter that we can do within an hour, even an adjournment of the House and bringing back so that those members who have been assigned in new committees, Madam Speaker, can get working. The issue normally is once a member sees his name on the floor that he has been moved from one committee to another, they stop going to that committee where they have been indicated to have been moved out of. So even those committees suffer because of the delay in making the decision. And yet they cannot go to the committees that have been assigned because the House has not approved the movement. So it cuts both ways. As devolution is suffering, other committees are also suffering. Even if a committee is properly constituted, but constantly meetings are attended by only 3 senators, it also undermines the credibility and confidence of the committees. So I want to really urge distinguished Senator for West Pokot and Siaya, as the leadership of the House, to get their whips in order and get things done Senator Orengo had suggested a Kamkunji, which is a good idea, so that those who have rage and anger, like young Cherargei, can be able to ventilate and be brought to order through explanation, of course, so that we can move forward. Thank you.
As Senator Minority Leader, Senator James Orengo.
Madam Speaker, I speak to this only because on Tuesday, when the matter came before the chamber, and I was here, and there were separate motions for committees and the panel. And that motion regarding the panel, I think that went through. And that's why Senator Kenywa was sitting on the chair yesterday. But I can assure you, had we moved with the motion in respect of other committees, including devolution, it would have been shot down. And I could see the sense of, difficulty. It's not that people were being malicious, but I think there were some concerns that were raised that were legitimate. For example, Senator Abishiro, I think she raised, when we had a little Kamkunji out here, she raised some very legitimate questions, which I think we cannot ignore. And we were supposed to have done consultations and have a Kamkunji this week, but that seemed not to be possible. But between me and the majority leader, if you're given a little time until Tuesday afternoon, I think the job will be done. The difference between this house and the other house, and I prefer the system in the Senate. In the National Assembly, the leadership determines where you go. If you refuse, that's your showry. But here, committees are committees of the House. It's the House which approves. So however much the leadership works on these committees and the membership, if the House does not approve, it amounts to nothing. So I would plead with Senator Kajwang, who I know the pain you're undergoing. In fact, I talked at length about the devolution committee, that it doesn't have sufficient members. But I think let us have a spirit of constituting these committees as committees of the House, not to look for individual or sectarian interests, because when that happens, then it becomes very difficult from constituting committees. I would also plead that, and I'm also a culprit as far as that question is concerned, sometimes you move somebody from a committee without consultations, and you do not know that that particular person has a professional or almost a devotional interest to a particular committee. So when you do that movement, it becomes extremely difficult. So I hope working together with the House and with the leader of majority, we'll accomplish this process by Tuesday afternoon. Thank you.
Finally, on that, Senator Majority Leader.
Just to concur with the members, as they have spoken, on the importance not only of the Committee on Devolution, but also the whole purpose of consulting so that we can agree on who serves where. And Speaker, the headache that is there for whips and for chairs of committees, and I think this is something that in that Kamukunji we should address, Madam Chair, is the fact that members don't attend committees. And there are members who want to be in 4 committees, 5 committees, and they hardly appear in any of those committees. So I want us to look at that. If we do, Madam Speaker, what have I said that is out of order? You know. So, Madam Speaker, I just wanted for us to agree here that Kamukunji comes. Okay, point of information, I can take information.
Senator Wetangula.
Inform you that as I agree with you, in fact, in the last 2-3 years, in our security committee, but you have since removed that member, for all the meetings, committee meetings we had, he never attended even one. But when our trip came to Canada, we found him already there.
Madam Speaker, you know, miracles still happen. And so I agree with members. But please, let's not have the desire to have more committees than you can handle. Let us make sure that every member at least belongs to 2 standing committees, and the rest, you know, the other committees, things like that needs to be the agreement generally. So, Madam Speaker, I agree, and I look forward to the time when we can conclude with this matter. Thank you.
Senator Faria, what's your point of intervention?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's just that I wanted to comment about a comment that was made about devolution, that we need to distribute relief food. Please, please, we should not distribute relief food. It is better to distribute cash to people. It has been, research has been done by the organization that I used to work before. Distribution of food stuff is more expensive than distribution of cash. And people are much more empowered when they get cash, because once you are given the cash, you determine your prioritization. Sometimes there are even areas, like in where I come from, people are being given maize, and they don't eat maize. So what they used to do is boil and give it to the goats. So let us not give people, the giving of food in relief has been overtaken by
members, you must know the procedure, because Senator Faria is on a point of order. I mean, yeah. So let her just complete, then you can make yours. So now you want to start arguing, Senator Wambua?
You know, Madam Speaker,
Honorable members, please, can we have some order?
Madam Speaker, Senator Faria, in all due respect, that address is directed to the wrong people. What you are saying actually gives credence to the argument on the floor that the devolution committee should be properly constituted and say those things to the minister. Because telling us that you should not distribute food, we don't distribute food. You monitor the distribution of whether it is food or it's cash transfer. So, Madam Speaker, she actually is speaking to my point, that constitute the devolution committee properly so that the things that Senator Faria is telling us to do, they can tell the Cabinet Secretary to do. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Rengo, you didn't have an intervention?
Now that the point has been made, I wanted really to inform Senator Faria that what you're saying is a big conversation in the international community, because the experience is that if they give money, the money is stolen. It's easier to steal money in the process than stealing, food. Like FAO would normally give food stuff. They will not normally give cash. So until we learn how to deal with corruption in our midst, these things are still going to be extremely difficult. But probably it's not the debate now, but I'm just telling you that it is a crisis out there. Otherwise, Biden will give us money to buy Pfizer.
I think that case is settled, and we need Senator Cherargei. Okay, 1 minute. Faria.
Leader, there is a package that has been invested in some places. And even it can be escalated, because right now in this country, there's what you can actually give Safaricom the money and the charges, and it's very clear how that money goes. The reason why money is much more important is because it also generates an economic activity around the relief, while relief food doesn't do the same. So, Madam Speaker, I know it was in the...
She's on a point of order. Please, just finish,
I know that it was in the context of the devolution committee, but in terms of how this is done, actually we have even convinced the organization I worked for, WFP, to distribute cash instead of relief food, because it was found that if you distributed relief food, the number of people it is adequate to serve, if you do cash, you can do 1.5 of the same because of the cost implication of relief food. No, in Kenya, I'm talking about in Kenya. We need to debate this because it is something that's affecting our people.
Please bring that to a conclusion. I think that has been canvassed enough. Yeah, I think that has been canvassed enough. The committee should be put in place so that they handle their matter. So that brings us to the end of statements. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Censure of Honorable John K. Munez, Cabinet Secretary for Petroleum and Mining, and Honorable Charles Keter, Cabinet Secretary for Energy.
Senator Sherarge. Are we still on 10 minutes?
15?
10 minutes, we continue. There's still a lot of interest.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. When I rose to seek a statement on the rising cost of fuel in the country, Madam Speaker, I thought it was in the interest of the nation and in the interests of all Kenyans. And I thought that the minister concerned, Minister C.S. John Munez, would have given an attention and opportunity, because as my colleague said yesterday, Madam Speaker, that the cost of fuel will always drive the cost of living up. And Madam Speaker, I want to really say that I agree with colleagues that the Minister of Petroleum should and must be censured. But, Madam Speaker, the Constitution is very clear. Article 153.3, that any cabinet minister can be invited by this House. And we were shocked. And I raised 4 issues, Madam Speaker, then. That what were the reasons that led to the increase through IPRA, which is mandated to do their job? What was the role of a petroleum levy fund that should have been used to cushion whenever there is rise in fuel cost in the country? Madam Speaker, I even went ahead and wanted to know the proceeds of Ngamia 1 in Turkana. And you remember, Madam Speaker, there was even a research that was done by a consulting firm called Kafni Klein Associates that indicated that 500 million or thereabout barrels of oil were commercially viable in Turkana Ngamia 1 project. And Madam Speaker, there was fanfare when this project was being launched by the President on Ngamia 1 in Turkana. And you remember the hue and cry that followed from the locals because of the revenue. We have never known where that fuel goes, Madam Speaker, so we don't know where that fuel that was being mined in Turkana went, whether it was used as a cooking oil or mafuta ya kuchipaka. So no one has really told us, Madam Speaker, that where that fuel is. And Kenyans knew that we were getting fuel from Ngamia 1, Madam Speaker. And there were even plans to construct 845 kilometers of pipeline from all the way from Turkana all the way to Mombasa through the famous LAPSET projects. And therefore, those were my few issues, the 4 key issues that I really wanted to know in my statement, Madam Speaker. And of course, to know that the question, and I thank the mover of the motion, the Senate Minority Leader, for saying that the cost of fuel in the country is high in Kenya than Tanzania and Uganda, yet they get their fuel through Mombasa Port, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I am a bit cautious when it comes of censuring the CS in charge of energy, Charles Kete, because I went and did some research and look at the executive order number 1 of 2016. That docket was under CS Charles Keter. I don't know why Senator Ledema is looking at me. That was CS Charles Keter. But that executive order number 1 of 2018 and 2020, that State Department of Petroleum was moved to CS John Munyes. And when that reorganization was done, one was the petroleum policy was moved to the Ministry of Petroleum, strategic policy, petroleum stock, marketing, oil and gas, import and exports, export of fuel and import of the same, licensing, marketing and handling of petroleum products, quality control. These were put by executive order in the reorganization of number one executive order number 1 of 2018 and number 1 of 2020. And you remember it is CS Charles Keter, Madam Speaker, that even had the courtesy of sending a letter to the House to try and explain. But of course, he didn't read Article 153.3, where he knew that the House of Parliament, either Senate of National Assembly, can summon you, can invite and